today's lesson, let's call it, is around news. And as you know, with our strategies, we like to look at news. We like to find good news or bad news coupled with strong directional move. Gaps are preferred. And then we come in the morning and we snipe credit spreads when the IV's high. So we grab these high probability profits that sometimes within the same day we can pull off for a really nice gain. So I thought today what I would do is just show you some of the places that I look for news, just so you have this in slide form. You know, got a little typo there. That's because I did this at 5:30 this morning. CNBC.com is one of my favorites. I like the way they present news. It's really nice and tight, easier to digest. They do have this thing up here that I like, as you know, 5 things to know this morning. We'll look at these in a few minutes. So just some screenshots. Bloomberg.com has really great news, a little more detailed, a little deeper news from Bloomberg.com. They also have email services where they can send you market wraps and pre-market emails. I think that's free if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. And then MarketWatch.com, which we use to find the economics calendar, also has really great news, a news service as well. So maybe consider using that one to find news. Barchart.com we like, especially when we go to pre-market movers, gappers, and news. We look for pre-market gaps with this site, and they have a whole plethora of other types of news as well. And then finviz.com, I don't know if you know this, but they do have major news as well. And when you go into FinViz, amongst many, many other types of analysis that you can do, it's all free, by the way. Everything I've shown you is free. And FinViz is, the scanning capabilities of FinViz, as you've seen over time, are remarkable, especially given that it's all free. And then if you use FinViz, make sure you come over here on the main page and select optionable and price. So I've done that for today, and there's some news on some of the major companies here that perhaps we could check out. So with that lesson over, and if you have any other news channels that you like, please feel free to share that in the chat box, and Gerardo will share that with the rest of the room. So given that's just been established, let's hop in and take a look at the news, and then we'll look at the futures here in a minute. So this is breaking news. I just saw this just now. Tesla reported 435,000 plus deliveries for the third quarter and production of 430,000, blah, blah. So Tesla may be a big mover this morning. We'll take a look at that. Stock futures are a little changed. Well, the big news is that our lawmakers averted a government shutdown for at least 45 days. A loan was organized by President Biden, and we have 45 days for our government to figure out the figure out the shutdown. So we got 45 days, and we'll be right back where we started. And I've looked through here today, and I don't see a whole lot here. Here's Tesla's up 1.56% this morning. So we'll look at that one here in a minute. Market movers over here to the right, to the left. Nike is up 6%. We can take a look at Nike as well. And for some reason, I can't scroll. There we go. VFC up 6%. It's the first time I've actually used the market movers on CNBC. I like it. WBA, Carnival's down 5%. Maybe some, I like the bearish ones better. Bad news lasts longer than good news does. So we'll look at all of these here in a few minutes. So there's some things moving. 5 things to know this morning. Let's see. We're looking for an October rebound. Indeed, if you look at money calendar, if you have money calendar in Tom's tools, October is typically it's an all green month. Well, heck, let me show it to you. Let's take a look at, let's go into Tom's partners. Many of you are one of Tom's partners. If you go to money calendar, October is typically very bullish. It's all bright green. This is, historically speaking, October is a bullish market. Now, things differ every year, every October, and perhaps the current climate is going to override and interrupt this pattern, but it's still a pattern we should be aware of. And any bearish prognosis that we might derive should be at least muted by potential seasonality. October is typically a bullish month. Okay, so investors look for an October rebound. It's quite common that that happens in October, so that makes sense. The Dow fell 3.5% in September. Money calendar, by the way. You know, it's uncanny how well this works. Let's go back to September here. This came to fruition this September, didn't it? September is typically a bearish month, and we certainly were bearish in September, to our liking and to our gain. So there's Congress avoiding a shutdown. Student loan payments resume. This is another thing that caught my eye this morning. You remember I've over the past couple of weeks, I've spoken to you about how savings has dwindled for Americans. American consumer debt is over $1 trillion. And now 40 million Americans are now going to have to start paying back their student loan payments. You know, do they have the money to do it? Some of them probably don't. So there's an impact on the markets, and you know, we could see certainly that would help inflation if people stop spending, but we may see banks under some duress. So we keep an eye on banks then. Apple's iPhone 15 is overheating. So there's apparently a software setup, software fix to fix the bug that is going to be sent out. I don't think that's going to impact Apple too much. And then next center in California. All right, Bloomberg, similar thing. Not seeing much here. It's kind of a light day for news, quite frankly. And then if we look at the U.S. economy for this week, the reports coming out, the big one is the ADP employment report. That's a Mac Daddy report, and we want to see that number drop. Last time it was 177,000 jobs were added, and it's expected there to be 150. If you remember 2 months ago, the ADP came out super hot and it dropped the market. It's a big report. So if this number drops, we'll be in good shape, or if it's 150 or less, if it's higher, we could see further downside in the markets. Jobless claims on Thursday morning. Both of these reports are pre-market. And then the employment report, hourly wages on Friday as well in the morning. So it's you know, it's a pretty hot week, especially the ADP employment report coming up on Wednesday morning, pre-market. Now, you know, we have these community trading rooms Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. If you're in those rooms, please be sure to check the news before you go in and start trading. It's really important. Really, really important, especially if you're doing these 24-hour iron condors on the SPX. Be careful. Be careful with these reports. They can move the markets. All right, let's go into the futures now. And let me put this slide up here because I do have all the futures listed. We get new people in the snipers community quite a lot. So let's just put those up quickly. Here's the major markets that we look at. The futures symbol. And then the exchange traded fund, which is a stock that all of these have options. So these are stocks that you can either buy or sell or even trade with options. So let's go through this list and see what's up.